back to my channel. So yeah, that intro, I had to throw that in there. I've been loving that song. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that. By the way, all my social media is posted on my YouTube page. If you just go to my channel, you can actually find quick links to that. Instagram is Shannon Shaw's Beauty, so you can find me there. That is actually my married name in case you are wondering. And for some reason, YouTube and Google will not let me change my last name right now, so we're sticking with Whittier. Just in case you're wondering, my last name is pronounced Whittier, so Shannon Whittier, but hopefully someday I can change it to Shannon Shaw because it is so much freaking easier, and most of my social media is actually Shannon Shaw, so if you're looking for me, look for that. Alright guys, so I am back for my worst in beauty for 2017. I just did my best in beauty and I will actually throw that up into the cards for you guys if you want to go ahead and watch some of the products that I actually really love this year. So of course, don't get offended if you like some of these products. They just didn't work for me, but I know tons of people that these products work for, and they just happened to be something that was disappointing for me, so I just wanted to throw that in there because I don't want anyone to get offended by this. This is all for fun, and this is just showing you guys what didn't work for me. If you have, you know, skin like me, normal to dry, then maybe you'll have the same experience, but maybe you won't, and you can always comment that in the comments. I love to hear your guys' opinions. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, so I have less products definitely than I had in my favorites video. If you guys know me at all, I'm a huge YouTube watcher. Like, I watch more YouTube than I do television. So I really get I watch a lot of review videos on beauty products specifically to see if I want to purchase them. So most of the products I get end up being a hit for me. But there are a couple that I don't know, they just did not work for my skin type. They did not work for me. They didn't give me that kind of wow factor. So I figured I would mention them in this video. So I'm going to start actually with 3 foundations. So I try a lot of foundations and I have 3 that just did not work for my skin. So I'm going to share those with you. So the first one, I tried this early in 2017, and this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. So you guys have probably seen this before all over YouTube. A lot of people like this. It is oil-free. It's supposed to be 12-hour wear. My main issue with this is just that it's very full coverage, but this reminds me of the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, which I also hate. These just don't work on my skin. I feel like this pulls so much on my skin and it just doesn't blend well. It sits on top of my skin. It almost makes me feel like I'm wearing a mask, and it clings to a lot of my dry patches if I happen to have dry patches, and I just don't like that. I'm not someone who likes heavy foundation, so that's just my personal preference. You may love this, especially if you do have oily skin. I think this would probably work for you, but with my skin type, this just was not a hit for me. I used it maybe twice and I didn't like it. I ended up just kind of sitting it in my foundation collection, and I really should declutter this or find someone that would enjoy it, but just for me, this was a complete miss. Alright, and another one, and I feel so bad, this is a Tarte foundation as well. I do like the Tarte, the Rainforest of the Sea, like the dropper bottle. I do like that foundation, but this is another Tarte foundation. I am sorry, Tarte, but I just did not like this either. So this is what? It comes in a little jar, and it is called, let's see on the back of it's got the name, Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation, and I have the shade Light Neutral. So it is really pretty. It comes in this little pot. I don't really care for this. That's a big gripe I have with this. It's pretty, but it is not practical, and it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. If you dip your brush in, you get almost too much on your brush, so you really have to dip your fingers in. This does have, I don't know, this does have a smell to it. I don't really know quite what it is, but it does have a bit of a smell to it. I just find this kind of like the other one. It's heavy. Like it's a gel, but it's very heavy, and I actually don't find this blends well at all into my skin. Like, I feel like I'm just moving it around my face, almost like I'm using one of those like silicone, the Sponge, almost kind of like that, which I've seen people use. It just kind of doesn't fully blend in my skin. It takes a lot of time. It gets very streaky with a brush. If you are going to use this, I would say a beauty blender. But for me, I didn't find this had great lasting power either, and I just didn't like it on my skin. I don't see a lot of people talk about this, so if you do like this, maybe mention down below what you like about it, but for me, this was a complete miss. Oh, okay. The last one. I had to preference this with this. I know this was a huge hit this year on YouTube and like everywhere. People love this. They recommend it all the time. I see it all the time online recommended. And this foundation, I hate that it didn't work for me. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and I have the shade Rose Ivory, which is a light, cool shade. Now, this is a little bit too light for me. It might work for me right now. It didn't when I first got it. But that is not my gripe with this. This smells horrific to me. I hate the smell of this. It just, I don't know, it's a really strong scent of like paint or paint thinner. And usually I can get past scents. I don't have sensitive skin. I just don't like it. And I smell it the whole time I'm putting it on. It does kind of go away. But my biggest problem with this is how it sits around my nose and my mouth area. Now, as I said, I do have normal to dry skin, and I found this just dried out and separated around this particular area. And my nose is a trouble area for me, but this made it look horrible. If you see me up close, everything would just separate within a few hours, and I could never get this to work. I paired this with a couple primers, and it looked horrible on me. I hate how it sat on my skin. It clung to dry patches that honestly I didn't know I had that many around my nose area. It kind of sat in all the creases of my face, and I hated this. And I know so many people love it. It is inexpensive. Of course, if it does work for you, then that's freaking awesome. But I did not like this. This is probably out of all my foundations, my least favorite that I tried this year, and I never reached for this. So. Alright, so we are moving out of the foundations. I'm going to actually mention one eyeshadow. I didn't try a lot of eyeshadows that I didn't like this year. One actually, I will try to find a picture and throw it in here because I threw it out because I hated it that much. And I love e.l.f. I have to say this, I love e.l.f. But it was from e.l.f. and it was one of their new like aqua, I can't remember the name of it, but there was two of them that came out, kind of like a blue and bronzy one, and then there was one with like burgundy and greens and golds. It was a 6-pan like cream eyeshadow palette. If I can find it, like I said, I'll throw it up so you guys can see a picture. I did a full review on that if you want to look through my videos and find that. If I do catch this during editing, I will actually throw it up in the cards for you guys, but that did not work on me at all. I actually applied it and it would like slide off, and it like would go away within, like the color would disappear within a few hours, or it would fall all into my crease. I don't like that. I don't have that happen often with eyeshadow, so I knew it was just the performance of the eyeshadow, and I didn't like that at all. I would not recommend that. I would go with some of their powder. If you're going to buy something from e.l.f., go with some of their like powder compacts. Their matte compacts I've heard are really good, like the 10-pan or 12-pan All About Mattes palettes. I've heard they are really good, and I've actually tried, I don't think they even sell them anymore. They might be on the sale section again though, but I actually really like their smudge pots. They're like their little cream shadows. They were actually really good except for like the light pink one. I didn't like that one, but I liked all the other ones. Another eyeshadow that didn't work out for me, I'm not sure if this brand is in the States, but it is here. It is, and I like a lot of their products again, but this is the Annabelle Chrome eyeshadows, and this color specifically. I've used some of the other colors and I actually haven't had as big of an issue. None of them are my favorite, but I can get some of them to work. But this shade in particular is called Gold, and it looks so pretty in the pan. Like, how pretty is that? It looks gorgeous. But when you apply this, like, I don't even know, like, this is already half dried out, but when you apply this, it is like so thick and chunky. And I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it just, I don't know. It just, yeah, it's like really patchy. It doesn't stay on the skin well. It kind of like flakes off on your eyes. And if you try to build the color up, it'll actually pull completely off your eyes. It'll fall into your face. I didn't really care for these, but some of the other colors work better than this one. So if you are going to pick them up, just stay away from like the lighter like gold and like the rose gold shade. They both kind of perform the same. So I would go for some of the other colors if you're going to purchase these. Alright, so we're going to move on to the last few products. So these are highlighters. I mentioned this in a disappointing video actually recently, and not recently, but a little while back. And this is the Jeffree Star Cosmetics highlighter in Princess Cut. So I love the packaging on this, and I love a lot of his products. I love the mirror. I think the color looks beautiful in pan, but I find this to be so, what is the word? Like, you rub your fingers lightly in this and like barely anything comes off. I don't know. And I have the same problem with brushes, and then like some of it sticks to your fingers. I don't know. Maybe it's just the color that I got. I just have a lot of issues with this specific shade, and I haven't bought any of the others because I was scared that it would perform like this, but I have been told to try some of his other shades because they're really good. So I'm not sure. It's just really firmly pressed. I don't find the color translate as nicely in pan as it does on my cheekbones, and I don't know. I've worn it a couple times, but it's just not something I grab for, mainly because I don't really like how it sits on my skin. But it could just be me. I know a lot of people love these, but this particular shade I'm not a fan of, and I wouldn't recommend this. I just don't feel like it performs as good as other highlighters that I can pick up at the drugstore for a lot less. So I don't know. If I try another shade and love it, then I could completely change my mind, but this shade in particular I'm not a fan of. I do like his eyeshadow palettes, and I love his lipsticks, so I do think I will give these highlighters another shot, but I'm not a fan of Princess Cut. Okay, so this one is a big disappointment for me, and I feel bad because I love the packaging. So this is from the MAC, like the Snowball Collection from this Christmas, and the packaging, I mean, I love this. I think I love gold, so I think this is freaking beautiful. What is this shade that I got? Here Comes Joy, and I think the other one was something about glow. I can't remember, something to do with glow, but there's a gold one as well. This one is more of a rose gold, so it's a pretty compact. It's got a mirror. It's beautiful on the inside. It has like these snowflake, and it looks so pretty in the pan, but I don't know. I've tried this a couple different ways on my face, and honestly, like, the Jeffree Star one gives me more color than this by far. I don't really get much of a highlight with this at all. Like, it's not even like a pretty subtle highlight. Like, it's barely there. I've heard the gold one, though, is better for a more subtle gold highlight, but this one doesn't really give me anything. And then I tried using this to set all over my face, which sounds weird, but I thought it would be like a pretty glowy product because it's so translucent. But it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't, I don't know. It just, I don't understand this product. And they call it a finishing powder, I believe. Yeah, a face powder. I don't know. I didn't think it did much of anything, even as a face powder. So I'm not a fan of this. I actually spent like 40 bucks on this, which is kind of disappointing. I liked it at first just because I thought it was pretty. And I'm very much the type of person that's like, oh my god, I like the packaging. It's beautiful. I love this product. But after I use something more, I'm like, okay, you don't really love this product. You just like how it looks. I like the presentation. Not a big fan of this product. Okay, the next one is very similar. I actually raved about these when they first came out, because I hadn't tried a ton of Becca highlighters, and I tried this one and I'm like, it has to be great, it's Becca, and I loved how it swatched, and I did like how it looked kind of as almost like a blush topper, or kind of like a highlight and blush topper, but I don't know. This is the Becca, the Light Chaser highlight, and this one is supposed to be for face and eye, and this one is Champagne Dream Flashes Bellini. So these are smaller, as you know, the smaller compacts than the original. So that's what it looks like in pan. Really beautiful color. And I'll be honest, it is pretty. Like, it is a pretty shade. And I don't know if you can see it that well there, but it's on the end there. And it is a really pretty shade. It's kind of like a gold, pinky, champagne shade. Very beautiful. And I like the packaging. Again, I like the packaging. But I don't know. Like, I don't find that it's not even really that it's bad, I just don't pull for it a lot. I like the original highlighters better. I find them creamier, so, and I find they apply to the face better. I really like Opal and Prosecco Pop are two of my favorite shades, but this one just wasn't my favorite. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's great, so that's why it's kind of in this video, because I just don't pull for this, and I don't think it's as good as the other Becca highlights. I think you should pick one of those ones before you would choose one of these. This one is more subtle, so if you do like a more subtle highlight, then maybe choose one of these. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for this video, my worst of 2017. It wasn't a ton of products, but that was kind of the products that I pulled when I was looking through my collection that just stood out to me. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I do watch a lot of reviews before I buy makeup, so that helps me a lot in choosing what I like. But those are the products that I kind of thought would be really awesome that just weren't as awesome as I thought, so I thought I would throw them in a video for you guys and let you guys know. Of course, if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up because it really, really does help me out. Any interaction you guys give me is amazing. Comment anything you want down below, and also hit that subscribe button while you're down there. That would definitely help me out. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.